All right, on my mark, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
It's the way you walk, it's the way you talk, it's the way you shine. It's the way that turn and the walking on and the walking night. And I'm sorry not to follow me, and it's all over. One thing I know is this is my life.
Shit's not fair. There we go. We'll see you next week.
Beetle warts?
No, absolutely not.
And antics ensue.
Antics ensue.
Here's the male that never fails. It makes me want to wag my tail. And when I come, I start to yell,
Here's your letter.
Having been on the African continent, I can attest to the size of their prawns.
Look, Fat Albert doesn't rape people. That's the first thing that came to my mind.
Rudy does. Cheer up.
We're all
gonna die.
This is my life. Yeah.
Hey everybody! Episode 4. I swear I will show you that it's actually
just so you guys
recording.
know.
I
believe you now. Chris has a problem with premature podcasting.
He's so excited about this.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. We have no Wade.
Cheer up. We're all going to die.
We are, but we're all going to die without Wade.
But Wade
this week.
may not die.
Yeah, he's climbing.
He's climbing the rocks.
Yeah, which is cool. Wade, we miss you.
Yes.
Just putting that out there. Does that mean no week of evil? Are we going to try to...
No evil.
Yeah, no evil. Okay.
We're skipping the evil. We know it still exists, but it's not going to be on the show.
Yeah. Well, and in fairness, and this is the only thing we'll comment on it, it would be hard to do a week of evil without talking about Orlando. And quite frankly, we really don't want to talk about Orlando.
I get depressed just thinking about
it. You know what? But I tell you what, the community came together, and a lot of, as Brian was sharing, Brian of the three of us is the only one that goes to church, was sharing how... the minister at his church was saying really nice things about the community, which you maybe don't expect. So
sometimes you don't expect that. People don't expect that from Christians, Baptists,
Southern Baptists
specifically.
Yep.
So the pastor was very adamant about if you are thinking that it's because someone's homosexual that this happened, they deserved it, then that's the wrong God.
Any truth to the rumor that the title of his sermon was "Don't Be a Dick, Love Jesus"?
I think it was. I think it was in the notes.
It's a very common sermon, and I see that when I'm driving, up to North Carolina to go hiking. You pass a lot of Southern Baptist churches. Yeah. I've seen that in a lot of their,
because you can just scratch out "do drugs" and line and "be a dick."
Do drugs also a very popular one on, for churches. But no, there was a really great. I wish had I prepared better, and
prepared, we don't ever.
Had I thought about it actually, but someone had shared with me this really was about I guess some Hasidic Jews went down to Orlando to help.
Here comes the joke.
No, it was so two Hasidic Jews walk into a gay bar, and actually that's what the article was. You'd think that this is how a joke starts,
right?
And it just talks about how they went to the where they were having the service outside, just sort of a let's feel better service, and they went from the service like into the gay bar, and they're like, and so the Hasidic Jews walk into this gay bar, and people around them are, and I think fairly looking like, why are these Hasidic Jews in this gay bar?
Give them a glow stick.
and the Jews whipped out their whistles and were. And they had nipple rings. It was crazy. Who knew? It's a very obscure verse from Leviticus. But no, I mean, and they're talking about that they're being hugged by these gay men, and this is recognition of maybe your belief system doesn't says we're sinning, for example, but it was this real human moment, and while it's a poignant story, it's also a very funny story because the guy who's telling us is a Hasidic Jew, and he's like, yeah, because it was just kind of weird, and we accepted it's weird. Everyone was like, "Well, this is irony." So if you want to talk about glass half full, or you can always make something out of something bad. It's possible, right? And we talked about this before. Some things you just don't joke about. And Chris, you told me no. I think some things you can. I think maybe everything you can, and maybe this is.
It depends on how it's packaged.
It's the audience.
It really
does. It depends on how it's packaged. Is that
correct?
Is that a gay reference?
Everything is a gay reference.
You know what? My
because they're people too, Brian.
No, they're not people.
Oh, really? No. Oh, we're
little known fact.
Look this up. Google this. What are gay people?
Yeah. I know that all my gay friends have always joked, we're all a little bit gay. I'm like, yeah, you know what? I'm not attracted to you at all. Although I will say, I don't know if we've ever shared this. We've only had 3 podcasts, but when I went to see Morrissey in Gainesville, and Mr. Capps was with me, I'm sitting there with Brian. I look at Brian and I go, I could jump on stage and kiss that man right now. I'm oddly attracted to him.
There you go.
So,
But we didn't have any, what are the flowers?
the lilies.
The lilies. We didn't have any lilies.
Yeah.
But that was a cool concert. That
It was a very
that
cool-
was a long time ago.
Opening band.
I don't remember. Was it, what,
Come on, come
Who
on,
was
come on,
it?
come on, come on,
Come on!
do it,
was it?
do it. You got to make this
I
happen.
don't remember. It wasn't Love and
Oh,
Rockets.
Smoking Popes.
Smoking Popes.
Yeah.
They
It
opened.
was the Smoking Popes.
No, we went to saw Love and Rockets.
No, Love and Rockets did not open for Morrissey. It was the Smoking Popes, dude.
Was it?
Yeah, because we both like the Smoking Popes. Yeah.
You don't remember that?
I don't remember the opening band, but I do remember they opened up because they had the orchestra pit was
Yeah.
for the people that paid extra money, and
Yeah,
then
which we
he
all
was,
just jumped over.
Yeah,
right
he,
away.
no,
'Cause it
he
wasn't
was like
highly-
Morrissey was like, I don't like this. Everybody, come on up. So
And we
Brian
did.
like runs, and I'm like,
did.
what? What are we doing? And so we're like, 5 feet from the stage with him demolishing the.
I think the oldest people there, and just really good show. And it was cool of Brian to go because we know he's not super into music, but he was like, fucking
I
Morrissey.
like
stuff."
music. I like music.
I think you actually went because you like the
He
Smoking
doesn't
Popes
like
more.
being pigeonholed
Yeah.
into, saying. If you say he doesn't like something, he will immediately say, I don't mind
I
that much.
like it. I like it. I just am not as passionate about music as you guys.
Oh, so that's the whole passion. That's the qualifiers, passionate.
No, you guys can rattle off. Well, such and such was
why,
the.
Why are you getting? Why are you getting?
I don't want to
upset?
talk about it.
And
I'm
if-
just saying that he's been against anal sex for years.
You mean against it? You mean like pressing against it? Is that like?
Not a bead of sweat can get between.
Yes,
he's read someone-
and
maybe he's read
and
someone's
we
book.
move on to something else.
So okay, so that was I guess that was maybe a brief week in evil where we
Right.
found something funny about
Speaking
it,
of anal sex.
but it's like it's fucked up. I think we can all generally agree it's fucked
Yeah.
up, and
Yeah.
So what do we got?
What are we talking about now?
You guys want to know why I'm the best parent ever?
Why
Yeah,
is
I'm
that?
intrigued.
Okay, so my daughter just came back from a mission day. It was the church she goes to is my sister-in-law's church, and pretty good people. I'm never going to go there because it's a church, but they went on a mission trip to the Bahamas. It was like a chorus mission trip, so they went down there and they sang and they had a really good time. They got to hang out with kids.
Senior frogs.
That is where they sang, as a matter of fact. So yeah, which is weird because you wouldn't think a church would go there. I don't think they knew what Senior Frogs meant. So she got my
I
son.
think it means Mr. Frog.
Only if you're nasty. So she got my son a voodoo doll. So she we
great.
both wanted voodoo dolls because when they went to New Orleans 2 years in a row, and this was back when they were going to the church where my wife used to go, and I would always say, "Where's my voodoo doll?" Like, we can't get you a Carrie's like, "You can't get you a voodoo doll." Like, you're in New Orleans, they're everywhere. Well,
They
church
literally are.
The church wouldn't want that. I'm like, who cares what the church wants? Your husband wants a voodoo doll. So Sarah says, shows like, here's Evan's voodoo doll. I'm like, okay, well, where's mine? And she's like, well, I didn't get you one. I'm like, but that's my gig. That's always been my gig. She's like, I got something better. So this is the T-shirt, and again, this is why I'm a great parent.
Unfolding of the shirt.
This is the T-shirt my daughter,
The ass.
the Ass Family,
Jack, smart,
Jack, yeah,
lazy, kiss.
and dumb, and so because you guys can't see it, Jackass is the father, smart ass is the mom, lazy ass is the son. It looks like, or someone the football player, and then kiss ass is the second child, and then dumbass is the dog. So my wife's not going to be excited about being smart ass because I don't think she would be any ass at all. But that my daughter got this on a church trip because she's like, my father's going to like this T-shirt. I feel like I've raised a good daughter.
Okay, I'm in.
That's
I'm
why
in.
that's why I'm the best parent ever. So no offense to you or to you.
Understood.
Yeah.
Understood.
All right.
It's
The bar's been raised. So although your kid is the one who's got the drum intro between segments, so obviously you raised a pretty good kid who's banging out the skins.
That's more luck than my
any
my
input that
effort
he
in
had.
any way.
And I don't know Cass's
My
kids. Are
kids are too young to.
Okay.
They're pinballs.
Yeah.
They're human
Well,
pinballs.
at least one of your kids likes to be outside and sweat, so that's
He actually does. He
yeah.
keeps saying he wants to do football, and I'm like, come on.
I think the fact that he says he wants to do football is probably.
No, he
won't
actually
ever
wants
really
to. Yeah, he actually
play
wants
football.
to. He loves soccer. He plays soccer. He wants to do karate.
Is that Sam?
Yeah.
Okay.
The
Yeah.
oldest Sam likes.
Sam's gonna enjoy it.
And then Will likes running. He loves to run. The kid's like
loves to
Forrest
run
Gump.
and
He
run
does.
and run.
He's like Forrest Gump. I'm serious. At soccer practice, he just wants to run around the
There's
field.
a good visual picture. So So Will's dumb? Is that what you're telling me?
No, he just likes to run.
Okay.
So. And then the little one's too small to do anything other than scream that his shoes were tied this morning. He didn't like the fact that his shoes were tied.
Well, that's very fascist of you to think that he needs to have his shoes tied.
Well,
It was too shy.
Too shy.
Too tight. Stop it right there.
I'm sorry. So yeah, that's one of the best parent ever. I don't know if you guys have any. We've got a couple topics we were going to jump into. So
Do it.
you want to just jump straight into the top? You guys have nothing else happen personally that you want to share?
Did you have something?
No, I don't
It's
know.
only been like a few days. Since
Yeah, it really hasn't.
It's only been a few minutes since we recorded.
Well, I did. Speaking of children, I was explaining to Sam. So this is how old I feel when I explain things to him. Because you say, you're sounding like a broken record. You keep asking me the same thing. My 8-year-old child has no idea what a record is. He keeps asking me, what does that mean? So I'm like, well, a long time ago, son, they used to put music on these plastic circular discs. And you'd put them on a machine and you'd listen to the music that came out of them. And if the record was broken, it may skip or wouldn't play or kept playing the same thing over. I said, it's a big circle of plastic. And he is really upset at this point. So he says, I am not a circle of plastic. That's what he got out of the whole conversation.
That's deep, dude.
Yeah.
I love that. You need a you can get a. I have a record player. My daughter got for Christmas. She went to a not a flea market, but whatever, like one of those stores.
Antique store.
Yeah, something like that. And she U2's Under a Blood Red Sky. Segue, or I'm sorry, not a segue, but that's a foreshadowing, by the way.
Okay.
U2's Under a Blood Red Sky. That's what she got for Christmas.
My son and I go antique store hopping
to look for albums.
Yeah, because you guys
specifically look for
Yeah,
albums.
you guys have record player.
Yeah.
Yes,
I've seen
he
pictures.
does. He does. 'Cause
You
he's
should.
hip.
You should. You can get them like Target for like $45. It's worth it. No, do it. This isn't. I'm not asking you. Was that sign?
I don't want to talk about it.
You sound like a broken record.
I am not.
I'm not a broken piece of plastic, circular plastic. So it was funny. He said
You're starting to sound like a corrupted MP3.
Yeah,
that's actually a lot like with the one time I had to rent a car and it years ago, and it had didn't have power windows. My son gets in the car. He said, "Dad, how do I have the windows go down?" I'm like, "You turn the handle."
Push the handle.
What? I'm sorry, you're having to. I'm sorry, lazy ass.
Kids these days just don't know
Anything pop into your mind in the short span of time that?
No. Not anything that I'm prepared to talk about on the podcast at this moment in time.
I will just from what happened, what we talked about last week. I looked up the website of that drive-in.
Yes,
it's not just some sort of geosites. Hey, let's throw something together. It is a well-organized website with high-resolution pictures. Ocala's serious about this drive-in.
They've put some effort into it. Yeah.
So I just want to restate that if you're in Florida, it's not worth flying down from Minnesota, but if you're here, go to Ocala. Yeah.
Or Ocala.
Yeah, one of the two.
Ocala.
Yeah.
You say Ocala, I say Ocala.
Let's call the whole
go to
thing.
Tomato.
Yeah.
I did look into this. Chris and I had lunch after he went to the drive-in.
You're going to tell people about lunch?
Yeah. Well, no, we just talked about.
Oh, that's
the
what I forgot.
drive-in.
You guys,
We talked about the drive-in, right? And so invest how much money would it cost to get a drive-in going?
Oh yeah.
Oh, nice. Yes.
So, but I looked into
making
it. Yeah,
tons of money.
yes, but
or so it seems.
He's making tons of money, like you said, off concessions. Every website I went to, apparently there's a like a union or a group of drive-in owners, and they have an FAQ where they say, okay, how much would it cost if I want to open a drive-in? What do I need? They're like, for a 2-screen drive-in, you need at least like 17 acres.
Yeah, that's.
So this place was already.
Yeah.
He reopened this place.
Yeah.
This
Well, that's-
was an old drive-in that they turned into a flea market that is now, again, both a flea market.
So
and
did
a
the
drive-in.
city still own the land?
I don't know.
Or was that?
No, it was probably a private owner at some point.
But he spoke of putting up because there's only one screen right now, putting up a second screen.
Cool.
Yeah, but apparently you have to there's like a screen and then there's a projector tower that you have to, unless there's one already there, you have to hire somebody like an architect, an engineer to come out and do all this stuff. But they were talking about, if you have the land and the infrastructure there already built, because you got to build ramps and all that stuff, you're looking at, $800,000 to get one off the ground.
Good golly.
And then if you don't have that, you got to buy the land, you got to build all the stuff out. You got to build the ramp, the parking, the concession stand. You know, the sky's the limit on that.
So we need to get a donate button on the website.
Yeah. So we want to open up a drive-in theater. So all of our 2 listeners that aren't us.
PayPal. We accept PayPal.
And I will tell you this, that, I mean, I don't know if you specifically would have to be, and I know this is just sort of talking here, but it has to be Florida, whether it has to be Florida or not, but some of our winter vacations we've taken up into the Carolinas or whatnot, you can see the old drive-ins that just are no longer open because they just...
Yeah.
And so those are places that, it obviously seasonal because the winters in, say, Boone or, no one's going to, hey, let's go to the drive-in in, January. But you have that opportunity to if you wanted to buy something up there in a resort town that over the summers would probably get pretty good,
Well, I mean, that's what that organization was saying. Yeah. It's always much cheaper to get something that's already there because a lot of the groundwork stuff's already built.
That's a nice stream, though. That's a pretty nice stream. Yeah. But would you show porn, you think? Maybe porn on one screen and, like, Disney on the other?
That put a sheet in between the two.
We just run a line up there.
Mommy, what's Daddy doing? Just give him 30 seconds.
And done.
Yeah. So masturbation's what kills the conversation when we go that.
I think so. Yeah.
Well, masturbation in Disney movies.
Not unless we're doing it.
You've never thrown one away, rubbed one out while you were watching Little Mermaid? No. Seriously? Really?
Yeah, never.
Wow. God, when Ursula comes on, it's oh boy.
I'm gonna agree with you just to agree with you.
So you'll stop talking.
Hello, meat sacks. Angel of Death here. While you're all waiting for me to come around and call your name, why don't you stop by cuwagd.wordpress.com and check out the latest episode of Cheer Up, We're All Gonna Die. That's cuwagd.wordpress.com. You can leave comments on the site or you can contact the gentleman at cuagd@gmail.com. Tell them to keep the episodes coming so they can distract you while I eat your cat. But you better hurry because I'm making the rounds and Brian doesn't have too much longer until he's mine. Which Brian, you ask? Oh, you'll find out soon enough. Yes, that's cuwagd.wordpress.com. Toodaloo!
So, and I don't want to bleed into Sports Minute for God's sake, but last night, or yesterday, I popped over to my neighbor across the street. He had a little gathering. There were 3 Euro matches.
That's Euro 2016.
Yeah, it's where basically Europe,
Like the money?
No, it's where it's Euro short for European. So you have all these countries that
I kind of figured that out.
Did you? Okay, just want to make me. You're drinking from the Newcastle, I guess.
And it's 2016.
Yeah,
so.
which is the year they play in.
Which is
They set that up
Yeah, it's
perfectly.
Yeah, it's not irony. It's not as if they have. Oh my God, we called it that. And look at the
I
years.
thought that they were in South America and we're going to be playing in 2070.
No. Now you're actually getting into the Copa, which actually is being held in the United States this year.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Well, so anyway, we're watching. I got there late, so we ended up watching the Portugal match, which was actually thought it'd be more high scoring, but it wasn't. But Portugal win. Then I stayed there
So it was
later.
like 1-1.
Yeah. It was 1-0.
I know soccer, you watch it for 2.5 hours, 2 hours, and 1 point. Oh, there we go.
Is that all you get out of soccer?
Yeah.
Okay. That's kind of how I feel about gaming. Just, Anyway, so I'm talking to my neighbor. We ended up watching the Copa match, America, which was a horrible pisser.
The Colombia?
Yeah, Colombia, U.S.
Yeah.
1-0,
by the way.
Yeah, also 1-0.
Again,
Which really all you need is 1.
And
that's all you need. I'm sorry, I can't stop.
But to Caps's point, 1 is the loneliest number that you'll ever do.
Is.
I mean, 2 could be as bad as 1. It's the loneliest number.
Well, football, you get 7 points when you get 7 points.
You get 6 points. Then you have
7
to.
the extra.
You can.
That makes no sense to me. Why can't we just give 1 point?
Why don't you
shut up?
Start your own sport?
Yeah.
Because it's too much trouble, and you might have to be
like
outside.
$800,000.
Well,
And then if you don't own the property, then it's
and you got to build the infrastructure. And
But anyway, so he happens to be from Australia. We were both born in '68, so we're both year of the monkey children. So we got to talk about that. Ended up discovered.
You're actually older than me? I thought you were younger than me.
No,
right.
no.
Same age as I am.
Oh, I'm the young one here?
You are.
This is awesome.
Whippersnapper.
Get off my lawn.
But he had seen bands like In Excess on a regular basis.
That's a long name.
The Divinals on a regular basis.
I'm saying a theme.
Not a lot of creativity in these bands.
But I mean, he's seen bands like Ministry
On a regular
basis. He actually saw Black Sabbath with Ronnie James Dio, so that was pretty cool. So I mean, really good. I mean, great music guy, really. But the pinnacle of the night was when our neighbor down the street. She decided, I'm going to go ahead and pop in and say hi. I don't know, these two may be dating. I don't know why she was there late, but
come on.
But she decides, she's going to break out the weed. It's like, hey, you want to smoke? And I'm like, well, sure. I've been drinking gin all day, and America looks like they're going to lose. So sure, let's
Perfect reason.
smoke a little weed, drink a little gin, watch the rest of this match. Unfortunately,
Get down tonight.
Yeah,
Yes!
I don't get to watch the rest of the match because she starts asking questions like, "Who you voting for? What do you feel about gay marriage?" And I'm sitting
Do
on
you
the.
think I can take a punch?
I'm sitting here on the back porch and I'm trying to look at the game because it's like this is not what you talk about. You are completely bringing me, and all I can. Yeah. And she's going to this. I don't mind if they get married. I just don't want to call it marriage. They can call it union, and I'm just kind of politely nodding my head, making my wife proud. I told Carrie, I said it would make you. It would have made you proud. I didn't
your tongue.
I didn't get on my soapbox like I normally would. I'm just like, yes, please stop. I need you to shut up. Let's talk about something else. So eventually we move beyond that, and she starts dropping questions like, so it's bad. That's the bad part, and I didn't see the good part for you. If you had to pick 3 albums to take on a desert island, what would you take? If you had to have a theme song that would play behind you while you were walking down the street, what song would you pick? That's when it got good. That's when I went completely silent because now I've been drinking, and now I've got a little bit of weed in me, and the two of them are like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "I'm really thinking about these questions." And we all got really heavy. And to me, it was the irony of she's trying to force me.
Munchies, right?
No, there were no munchies, dude. It was. We were really absorbed. We got away from the who you voting for. Who's Gary Johnson? I threw out. I don't know Gary Johnson. Who's Gary Johnson?
He's a libertarian.
Yeah, well, I pretty much only vote libertarian. But yeah, it was really cool. And I thought that, okay, well, this is a real buzzkill kind of, and you sort of saved yourself here. And I also thought, well, this is kind of fun to take to us because we've talked about music before. I think, we're going to talk about music again, right? The year of 1983 is going to play in. I know you're not, Brian, that music's not necessarily your gig like it's ours, but so maybe we can have some fun with this, right? At the very least, we can do a song, and I think the song is something we can do. And then maybe rather than for 3 albums for you, maybe it's 3 movies that you would want to watch, or maybe we just say, screw it, we'll do our theme song and then 3 movies for the desert island. Because we're going to talk about albums later in the show. So I put to you first, you're stranded on a desert island. What 3 movies would you take with you, understanding that you have to consider, what are my mood swings like? If I'm working, is there a movie that I want playing in the background when I'm working? If I'm feeling like crap, do I want something to continually make me feel like crap? Or as you pointed out in the last episode with 21 Pilots, do I need a pick-me-up movie?
Right.
So
we're going to have to put some thought into that one.
Yeah, sorry.
That's going to be like another episode.
No,
when I propose with that situation, I always go against it and say something like, I'm not on a desert island. And if I'm stranded on a desert island, I never got the chance to pick 3 albums to come with.
But so here's the cool thing.
That's how I stall.
Well, but here's what I realized last night is that you have to, rather than think about the broad landscape of all the creativity and even some of the crappy movies you've seen, that you realize that like with the Fatan on Sunday, that you may just watch it because it's almost mindless. It's a now question, so it should be somewhat easy. So for me, the question was easily answered.
Really?
Oh yeah, Miracle, because I always feel good. It's inspiring. And it was a part of my childhood that I will always remember. Right. I mean, I like hockey. I love Olympic hockey.
So you're going movies?
Yeah, well, I do. Yeah, I'll do the 3 movies that I would want to watch on a desert island.
Because my first thought was, Miracle. The man who looks like a scare shit.
It's a miracle. It's Peter Frampton. Barry Manilow. Yeah. Manilow!
Which brings us back to the Copa.
Yeah. Hottest spot, man. Hottest spot north of Havana.
All right, Miracle.
So Miracle would be a movie.
Little
Kurt Russell. Yeah. It was a tough debate because I wanted to do a serious movie, and it was either we talked about maybe a movie that Stephen King had done, and I went with Shawshank Redemption because I think while that's a heavy movie, it also has a redeeming thing.
And by far that's the best movie.
I think we talked about The Green Mile. I mean, The Green Mile is a pretty good movie.
Yeah.
But what goes on with the Shawshank Redemption School, and it ends on the beach. So I thought that was kind of cool. And we actually only got to 2. So the third one I'm about to give you is just sort of off the top of my head. And I want to do a John Cusack movie, and I'm debating between Better Off Dead or Hot Tub Time Machine, and I think I'm going Hot Tub Time Machine. It's the third movie.
I have not seen Hot Tub Time
You've got to.
It's good.
It's fantastic.
It's
yeah.
good.
It's what it is. It's surprisingly good. You don't expect it.
It's what you think it is.
Yeah.
It's actually better than what you think. You just because you don't.
It's what you.
Yeah. I'm just telling you, it's good. Now, this also assumes that I probably am alone. Because if, say, my wife was there, maybe I'm doing Serendipity as opposed to Hot Tub Time Machine.
Yes.
But just when I'm thinking those 3 off the top of my head, I think I have a good landscape of movie. I mean, part of me would love to go with maybe a music-based movie, like the movie about the kid who follows the band. Almost Famous.
Yes.
Yeah, Almost Famous is a pretty
That's
good.
a good movie.
But those are the 3 that just thinking about movies. If I put more thought into it, it might be 3 different ones, but off the top of my head. So. Can you guys?
I got 3.
I like it.
Mine would be movies that I could easily quote that I've seen over and over and over because
Perfect.
You just get such a
I bet you're gonna
good feeling.
I bet you're gonna give me one of the ones I should have picked.
And the 3. I mean, one is probably the most quoted movie in the history of men, and it would be Caddyshack.
See, anything Bill Murray. I was thinking Meatballs would be good. A Groundhog Day would be a perfect.
Yeah, I didn't like that movie the first time I saw it.
No,
but
the first time
I've seen it over and over.
I've seen it over and over again.
Didn't fall asleep though, did you?
No, I
Yeah,
didn't.
good.
No, I didn't.
Good. So you're not Eric, is what you're telling me.
No.
Yeah, Caddyshack is nice.
So we got Caddyshack. We got the Blues Brothers.
Nice.
And the third would be Raising Arizona.
A Coen brother movie, nice.
That was, so from my first 2 that popped in right away were Star Wars because it's like everything that I base it on. My life, science fiction, love the stuff. Ghostbusters, which I've actually seen more than
I thought about that one.
Star Wars.
Nice.
Because that has got to be one of my most favorite movies ever made. Ghostbusters,
man.
Yeah. Good. So, and then the third one, there's some good ones out there. I'm trying to come up with a good third one. And I think I would go.
They make copies. You can watch the same movie.
Yeah,
I only get 3 movies.
But it doesn't have to be different than ours.
Yeah.
Though. You're not taking his.
My movie.
It's not like you're on the neighbor desert island and going over and stealing a DVD. It's
my third one would probably be Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
good. Yeah, and that's almost. I feel bad about not picking Spinal Tap.
Yeah, I mean,
There's so many. I mean, I could come up with hundreds of movies that I watch. Back to the Future. All 3 of the Back to the Futures, much to my wife's chagrin, whenever they come on television, I watch all 3 of them.
I would actually prefer the third one over all of them.
Really?
I just think the Old West was a cool.
Yeah, it was a
cool concept.
The second one, I felt like I was watching the first movie again. I like all 3 of them, but
I wouldn't mind having if we actually went with trilogies because some movies exist. You can actually do trilogies. I feel like I should take The Godfather, but I've never really enjoyed them. I would go with the Matrix trilogy. I would enjoy that.
Really?
Yeah.
See, the first one was good, but then and then it's like the other 2.
I've always loved the second one. Of all the 3, the second one's fantastic for me because you get that you sort of get that explanation. And I mean, look, when they're talking to the architect, I mean, there's nothing better than that. And then when you see Will Ferrell making a parody of that. I think that's what makes me like it more.
The fact that you have to bring something outside to make it better.
I'm sorry, I don't like to use my loud voice. If I were you, shut your mouth. I'm the architect. So that's interesting. That's as soon as you said most quotable, I really started thinking of. I mean, like I really love 50 First Dates. I mean, as bad as Adam Sandler can be. 50 First Dates is great. Billy Madison's great.
Got some good
Happy
movies.
Gilmore.
Yeah.
I think The Wedding Singer was.
Wedding Singer's great.
Dana likes The Wedding Singer.
Yeah.
I like it a lot too.
Yeah, I mean those are, and that's what's tough, right? Because that's why I said it has to be spur of the moment. Because when you start thinking about it, now you're like, oh god, what are the movies? I mean, I unapologetically like The Notebook, but I'm not going to be on a desert island by myself and watch The Notebook. I mean, that's why would you do that to yourself? That's like watching Train Spotting or something like that.
That's an uplifting movie.
Oh
right
yeah,
there.
there's nothing.
Train Spotting.
That and Seven.
Hey, like a dead baby.
Hey, what do you feel like? I'd take Train Spotting 7.
Because I just want to end it the second I get there, and I need that extra push.
Oh yeah. Ooh, which? Oh boy.
Oh, speaking of Human Centipede.
No, I just. So you know how you go certain sites, and it seems to be British newspaper sites like the Chronicle Live, which is I go to for Newscastle News, or the Daily News or whatever. The
Daily Telegraph.
Daily Telegraph, something like that. They always have those things at the bottom where it's a good thing the wedding photographer kept shooting, or 25 movie stars. Look at where they are now. Well, there's this one was like 25 movies where they actually did it.
I did see that.
Yeah, so I like, okay, well, let's go ahead and look at this.
Little brown bunny.
So the little brown bunny, yeah, that's all. I think that's always the first one, so it's probably the same one. And I'd seen it before, and I just sort of breezed through it, and I'm like, okay, well, that's pretty interesting. Oh, they really did it. That's kind of interesting. And then the Caligula is the only one that I've ever seen, and I've actually never watched all of it because it's just an awful
you don't
movie.
have to.
No, yeah. You could read the book.
You could.
But so
to
what
quote you could read the book.
So I went to Google and turned off my filter and went to images and then started just typed in the name of the movie. They all should be porn. They all should have an X rating because there's a fellatio, there's a lesbian cunnilingus, there's anal, there's angry, there's angry sex. Which reminds me, 12 millimeter might be a movie I'd like to take on.
Oh.
Love that movie though.
12 millimeter.
9 millimeters. 8 millimeters.
8
Sorry.
millimeter.
8. Okay.
8, 12.
He was so
9's a
impressed-
bullet.
He was so impressed by he's up to 12.
Now I'm like, it's like half.
And that reminds me of the quote from Mr. Mom, which is another great movie. So what are you using? 31, 32, whatever it takes. 8 millimeter, 9 millimeter. But one of the rare. Maybe next episode we could talk about.
Cringeworthy movies?
No, but name the top 5 good Nicolas Cage movies.
And we get to share those because we're not coming up with 15.
No, I meant 5. We don't have to come
Well,
with.
I'm saying 15 between the three of
Oh
us.
yeah. There's going to be a lot of common.
Yes.
Yeah, Honeymoon Over Vegas, maybe. Well, and the
Raising
Arizona is always going to, but I don't want to buzzkill that. But yeah, I've actually done that with someone before, where we're trying to think of them because you think all of his movies suck, and then you realize, well, no, they're actually. Yeah. Nick's been in some pretty good movies. It's just not recently.
Have you seen Joe?
Have not.
It is very good.
Okay, I wanted Wicker Man to be good. It was important that Wicker Man was good.
The original Wicker Man.
I heard they both sucked.
It was like 70s horror, so it was kind of.
So it was supposed to suck.
Okay.
It's kind of creepy, but you still kind of
Grindhouse.
Like, yeah. I mean that kind of
So
Coffee.
Coffee.
Yeah. Grindhouse coffee.
So thanks for entertaining me there.
Certainly.
Yeah, but that was my neighbor's story. I mean, and again, really good guy. Because he enjoys concerts, and now that or music, and now that I know you enjoy it as well, one of the hardest things for me is when the bands come local to have someone to go with me. Like I had to see Elvis Costello by myself because no one wanted to see. Yeah, and that's what I'm thinking. I'm like, hey, you want to go see Elvis Costello? Yeah, not really. It's Elvis Costello. It's not. This isn't a not really. It's what's so funny about Peace, Love, and Understanding. Elvis Costello. It's
I went and saw. I can't remember what tour it was. I think it was the All You Can't Leave Behind tour.
Oh, you too. Yeah.
I saw their opening show in Fort Lauderdale.
I was there.
Were you?
Yes.
Son of a gun.
Yeah.
Did you see Elvis Costello?
Did he open?
No, he
Oh.
was there in the audience. They had a sort of a riser in the back.
Oh.
With celebrities on it.
He was there?
He had a Fulford beard that you would
Still got
masturbate
it.
over.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, it wasn't that. I was at the Tampa show. I was at a Tampa show.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, I forgot because that's the same venue that I saw Pearl Jam.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Costello was there.
Yeah.
He's got the. It's beautiful. Yeah, isn't he married to somebody famous?
I don't know.
Probably.
Look it up, Brian. Look it up.
You need an organ. And I play piano.
I play an organ.
All right, so that's you.
Solo.
You said that you had a good experience, or you had an experience with my with my guard.
You're multiple guards, and they happen to all be African American women. I was wondering about that. Are there any? Because I've come across 3 of them in my travels to the Full for the boat.
We've actually got a guy, that African American guy, who usually works late, and I mean like 11, or he did work like 11 to 7, and he's also been over at James Island as well. But he works for the Jaguars. I think he works the scoreboard or whatnot. So my son, when Evan lived here, he would come home late.
Mm-hmm.
He would spend like 30 minutes up at the guardhouse just talking to him about football and whatnot. So they're really cool people. But no, it's weird. We've had a couple of white people. I don't know why. It's whatever company we use. That's
right.
But everybody's super cool.
I was just
super
curious
friendly.
because it happened to be a trend.
I
noticed at first because there was a new one today that I hadn't seen.
Yeah, I hadn't seen this
So
one.
prior to that,
Was it the tall
I
girl
hadn't
with the
seen
short haircut?
No.
Okay.
There's a skinny one, which I'm assuming is the tall girl that you're talking about, and a
Heavier set.
heavier
More
set.
Ruben-esque.
Yes. The skinnier.
Did you
one-
just go American Idol on us with Ruben? Ruben Stoddard? Was that the reference?
Ruben-esque.
Ruben, that's a word.
It's
Oh,
Look
okay.
it up, Brian.
I don't want to look it up.
look it up.
Take your word.
Diana Krall. That's who.
Diana Krall.
Is she a
Jazz singer.
news person?
No,
Jazz
she's a
singer.
musician.
She's a musician, jazz singer, pianist.
Nice. Look at Elvis. Good job, Elvis.
But I noticed the skinny one seemed to be more adept at her job.
She's
More
wicked
adept.
smart.
The hefty one seemed to just made the call and then you're
Yeah.
good to go.
I didn't get a call. This one lady that got me, she made me pull out the driver's license. I think
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
still
me
on
too.
the list up there.
You are. Well,
But-
ever since you've lived here, yeah.
Yeah, when I
She
lived
made you
here
pull
back
it out?
in 2001.
That's
My
weird.
driver's license. She
I
Oh,
was going to
sorry.
ask about that. Is there a list? Or
Yeah, there is.
Do I have to show her my podcaster's license to get in here a little quicker? You know?
No, we need to update the list. It's a lazy habit. But no, I think, is she from Louisville or wants to go live up in Louisville a little bit? But I rode my bike up there and spent about 45 minutes talking to her one
Louisville?
night.
Look at you.
Yeah.
Lewis. It's not Louisville?
They don't like
Look
it.
it up. Oh.
Yeah.
I know that.
And it's not in Illinois. Yeah.
Louisville.
Louisville, Illinois.
Quieter
So, well, those are. I had noted those three things on the list. I thought you were actually going to do a little bit more with the guard at the gate,
So
but
did I.
that's
all I had.
that was a nosedive. Oh my gosh!
He's got something good about
this parachute's a backpack. To quote Chandler Bing, obvious Friends ripoff. So, do you guys want to? Go into the music? You want to talk
Take a
about
trip? Wanna take a trip
1983?
back?
Yeah.
To
On your favorite rocket ship? No, Little Einstein.
the year
No,
1983.
that's
Little Einsteins. You guys,
No,
yeah.
but I know that's. I didn't recognize what it was from. But yeah, Little Einstein.
My Sam, again, I'll talk about my son because, the Little
Oh,
Einsteins
Christ,
is
here he goes again with
going
his
on a
kids.
trip on our favorite rocket ship.
To do football?
No, not to do football. But Sam said, going on a trip, watch us nay, watch us whip.
I like it. Is he straight up West Side
He
gangsta?
might be.
All right.
He thinks he can dance. He
Does he?
cannot.
True.
Vance can dance, but he'll steal your money. Yeah, come on, gimme.
That had to be 83. That's why don't I
Come
say
on.
John Mellencamp? Fogerty.
Fogerty,
John
yeah.
Fogerty.
Can you give me the album? What was that?
Center field.
Oh, look at you. I'm shaking hands right now. That's
That was a Columbia House
yeah.
tape that I had.
Great. And Fogerty recently played. I think he was down in at St. Augustine. Yeah. Good shows down there. Really good shows.
That's a memorable video.
Remember Ablesinas?
So we are doing because of the last episode we talked about they talked about 1971 being potentially the greatest year for album releases, which as much as we want to disagree with it, was very hard when we looked at 71.
But then again, that's very subjective.
It is subjective.
So we decided to expand that.
So this year we're going with 1980. Actually, Caps.
I was the turtle.
Ginger decided 1983 was the year we'd go. That was a big year for me. I think that's when I started high school. My first year of high school was 1983. So I think MTV was already out at the time. So.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, I know it because Duran Duran's 7 and the Ragged Tiger was released. I think MTV was maybe a year or two
I was
earlier.
in 7th grade when MTV came to Jacksonville, which was like 6 months after it was born.
Huge. Did you remember so you guys remember the first video you ever saw on MTV? I'm just curious.
Video killed the radio star.
That was the very.
That was
the first video they showed, but that's also the first video you ever saw.
That's I think I saw it
Okay.
because they had it in heavy because there were only like 2 videos back then. So it's like every other video was.
But they were all the most entertaining thing.
They were so cool. Do you remember you remember the first one?
I remember the song. I remember the artist was Brian Parker, and he had like this ice sculpture that he was.
I do. I remember the video. I don't remember the
can't
song.
remember the name of the song, though.
You remember when they used to play videos on MTV?
Yeah, I remember when they used to play it on MTV2. I'm not even sure if did they have the station now where they play videos or is it
VH1 Classic?
That's sad.
Classic.
Yeah. My first
Kids
video
these
was Asia's Heat of the Moment. Yeah. And I remember going to God, maybe it was I guess 83 was 84, 85, 86. 83 was when I was at Fort Caroline, 7th grade. For 7th grade, I remember walking because that album was released over the summer, and this was a neighborhood school for us. So Billy Bond and I are walking to school, half a mile. We get into the cross the street, get on the school grounds, and all we're talking about is that Asia album. I mean, I remember it just it permeated our very existence. Was that heat of the moment? Oh my God, it's so good! It was that just brought up the memory. Such a good memory, such a good album. So, but yeah, so we're gonna talk about 1983 and which album is most memorable to us or most inspiring. And Brian, our Caps Ginger, are you doing
I can.
Are you doing movie or are you doing song?
I can throw song, movie. I got a movie mainly because, again, as we say over and over again, I don't like music apparently. But
It's still on hip to anal sex.
Okay. Dude, there are books out there. It's okay.
No, I mean, there's a lot of good songs that came out. Nothing that really, like, I would say, defined me back in '83.
But what did define you back in '83, Brian?
Not too much. I mean, I liked.
That's what I'd like to know.
Once you label him, you negate him.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, I like the Stray Cats, and She's Sexy and 17 came out
In '83, really?
'83.
Was that their debut? Yeah, I guess
I
it was.
believe it was.
Yeah. Okay.
And I liked that. I liked that a lot. I enjoyed that.
Maybe you should talk about a movie.
Well, I mean, the movie. I'm just throwing stuff out. I totally forgot about this.
I'm glad that my little thing about the guards is now not the worst thing to talk about on the show.
Well, in 1983, A Christmas Story came out.
See,
That's a really good movie.
Who
Watch
doesn't
it.
love that movie?
Yeah.
Who doesn't love that movie? I've met a person who doesn't love that movie.
Have you
Really?
Yes.
How do you? That's.
Are they communist?
They're not communists. They're actually
Are they right-wing radicals?
no.
Okay. Give us the roots, the radical. Give them the boot. You know I'm a radical. Okay.
I'll let you go for as long as you need.
So do you?
So what's your? Well, I know we're not done.
No, please be done.
Are we
Please
still
be done.
harping on
I
that?
got nothing
What's
to
your
say.
favorite part of the movie? What part of that movie just gives you joy?
When
'Cause
he-
it's so full.
I know. When he takes the Ovaltine,
Son of a bitch.
That's not the Ovaltine.
Yeah.
No,
A
he's
little orphan
cracking
Annie,
the code.
or-
He's got the
gotta hurry
Dakota
and-
ring.
yeah.
Got it from
Oh,
the,
yeah.
the mailbox. Finally came in the mail.
Yep.
Up to the bathroom. Close the door. All alone. Crack that code. And
Oh
the
yeah,
code
drink
is,
more Ovaltine.
Be sure.
Was
Be
it-
sure to drink more Ovaltine.
Yeah.
He's like, to which
Son
son
of a
bitch.
bitch.
That's classic.
You get a commercial after all that way.
So even in the 30s.
Oh, that's funny. Actually, I thought you guys were about to go with the changing of the tire.
Oh,
No, that was a good
And
one.
there I was. Getting sold his friend out.
but I didn't say fun.
Desert Island movie, by the way. That could easily be a Desert Island movie.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be December.
No.
Because you're in Desert Island.
It's always December on a Desert Island.
Yep.
True.
Whatever month you want it to be.
Yeah. All right, what you got?
All right, 83. I would have to go with. Mid 80s was about the time that I discovered that I had a decent singing voice,
Okay.
but was not confident enough in that voice to explore the range.
Mm-hmm.
So I sung a lot of falsetto.
So Bruce Hornsby really took the range for you and became famous.
Like a rocket.
No one else is going to get that. But that's just the way it is, Chris. And some things will never
And
change.
some things will never change.
Sorry.
I'm going to say Mandolin Rain, and then both of you beat the shit out of me. So there's a man who made quite a living singing falsetto, and that was John Anderson of the group.
Yes.
And 90215 came out. Corner of a Lonely Heart, which is actually one of my least favorite songs on the album because it's one of the hardest to sing. Changes, It Can Happen.
It Can Happen.
Believe It. Boom, 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 boom.
One down, one to
go.
go. Another time, and one
yeah.
more show.
So that album was a very, very big album for me in 1983. And I want to talk about the Guards outside. That's all I have.
No, we're not. Were they playing the album by any chance?
Oh, they were. I would be here.
Yeah, so I had to look this up because now you've invoked. That's much like Asia. That was one of those albums that everyone was talking about and everyone was singing. And I'm actually thinking now about that
because it was so much different than
what
we thought of.
It was and it was good pop music. It was smart pop music.
Pop music.
And I'm actually thinking about what cassettes did I play in my car, and In Excess Shabu Shabba was when I played to death. Aha's Hunting High and Low was when I played to death, and that was one as well. It was always on because it was feel good.
Right.
It was really, really feel good. So here's the list. Side 1, this is for the album. Side 1, track listing: Own Over a Lonely Heart, Hold On, It Can Happen, Changes. I'm pretty sure they were all top 40 hits, right?
Yeah.
Do you think it stopped there? Cinema, Leave It, Our Song, City of Love Hearts. I don't think those were popular, but I still remember them.
The second
Leave It was big. I remember Our
Cinema
Song
was, I believe, just instrumental.
Was it?
Yeah.
Okay. But of those, I remember It Can Happen was.
Yeah.
It can happen to you. It can happen to me. It can happen to everyone. Eventually, it was. Yeah. And Changes was the heavy song. Changes
You
was.
sound like a broken record.
He is not a broken piece of plastic.
Not. Broken circle of plastic.
Changes clocked in at. Oh, this is back when songs were songs. Here are the lengths of the songs: 427, 515, 539, 616. Cinema, you're probably right. That's a 209 song. That's probably instrumental. Then 410, 416, 448, and then we end Hearts. Hearts ends the album at 734. It's like an Iron Maiden album where the last song is a tome. It's a damn tome, and there's actually piss breaks. Okay, guys, we're taking a break. You guys go ahead and go to the bathroom right now. So good poll.
Thank you.
Very good poll.
Thank you.
So I know I had shared with you that I'd narrowed this down to 2.
Correct.
And so what I did prior to this is I went through it again, and now I have a list of 7. So I lied.
Going backwards.
I lied.
Maybe going backwards.
Yeah. So this is, and I talked about it with this before that we started recording as well. Is that it wasn't a great year for music, right? But it was a good year. There were a lot of good albums. We talked about Duran Duran, 7 and the Ragged Tiger. For anyone who was like, Duran Duran, you crazy? I'm like, well, they were popular then. I liked them a lot, and 7 and the Ragged Tiger was okay, but it was still a. I think it listed on that one site we go to. It was like top 50. It was like 56 or something.
Right.
So it's still good.
Synchronicity came out in '83 too.
That was the first thing that popped in my mind, and that was the thing I was going to go to. But then I saw the 90215.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so it's
92110.
I mean, Journey.
90210.
Look, I mean, we can. I know I joke with you that this doesn't count, but I mean, Journey Frontiers was on there. I mean, Journey made really good pop music.
I love Journey.
I mean, so just looking at the list, according to this, they start with REM Murmur, which is one of the ones I considered because I love REM. Violent Femmes. I mean, I've never a big Femmes thing, but when I walk and I strut my stuff, man, I'm so strung out. One of the first songs I learned on guitar because it was easy.
Right.
Then you got Synchronicity, a little New Order. Tom Waits is up there. Metallica's Kill 'Em All, which
just some of them.
Just all of them.
I was working at Bink's, which was a record store off of
Records is a piece of plastic. Sorry.
Off of University Boulevard, a little past Jacksonville University. I got a summer job, and this guy had come in. And he's like, "Hey, there's a new genre that's getting popular," and it was this sort of this speed metal or death metal or whatnot.
So he enjoyed this, and he used the word genre.
I think that's me
there's
using
a whole
the word
story.
genre. But so I like. I mean, and then Kill 'Em All is the cover is a a sledgehammer with in blood, and you look at it right there. That's what it looks like. And
Oh.
I'm immediately intrigued by this. And it was, I mean, the song Anastasia Pulling Teeth, the song Motor Breath. I think that was the name of the song anyway. But it floored me, and I thought, wow, this is some really good stuff. And then you watch Metallica's career play out, and to me, they sort of crested it. Injustice for All.
Right.
I mean, the Black Album was popular, but it was a little too mainstream. But that's the kind of stuff that was there. So it was a hard thing to Talking Heads Speaking in Tongues, Def Leppard, Pyromania.
Yeah.
So I mean, good albums, but not anything like we talked about before with Carole King's Tapestry, Led Zeppelin 4.
No.
You had Madonna came out, which was a big deal. So my list down to 7. I'd almost want to appeal to you guys to narrow this down. REM's Murmur was on there. U2 War is on there. Def Leppard, Pyromania I considered. Iron Maiden's Peace of Mind, which has the Trooper on it, which is maybe one of the best. You want to talk about tattoo-worthy. Eddie on the battlefield with the British flag with the dead around him is epic.
That song and Run to the Hills are the two that I identify with Iron Maiden.
Yeah. I mean, it's the Soul Mining. The is...
I didn't get...
I wasn't into it
until Mind Bomb, so I don't know.
What are we stuttering over?
No, I mean that was just
It's pronounced the.
Is it actually
the? I'm not sure.
And just to tell you how much I'm not in, I wasn't really into them. I know that the guy who leads the band. I mean, I've read his stuff. I find him philosophically intriguing, but I didn't appreciate them until later on.
Right.
So this is sort of I wasn't into it then, but now it's like a big deal. And then U2 also released Under a Blood Red Sky, and then Motley Crue did Shout at the Devil, which I mean, I'm sorry, 10 Seconds to Love is. That's the song you sang when you were in the car because you knew someone's going to hear you singing it and go, you shouldn't be listening to that music. That's terrible music. And that was the album. They toured the Shout at the Devil with, I think it was Ozzy's Bark at the Moon. And we were going to go see the show, my buddies and I. And they did First Baptist Church got involved like they always do in the TU, or I forget, it wasn't called the TU at the time. I think it was called something, the Jacksonville Journal or something.
That was the afternoon paper.
Okay. But they were worried about, much like when we went to see Iron Maiden's The Peace of Mind tour, there was a big thing about how there's going to be an altar call at the show. So if you go to see Ozzy Osbourne and Motley Crue, it'd be nothing more than promoting the devil and getting you to worship the devil, which was so funny. So what we did is we got a 12-pack of Heineken, got shit-faced drunk, and then listened to Ozzy Osbourne and Motley Crue shout at the devil in our car on cassette. For the duration of what the concert would have been, which meant we were drunk on the road.
But safe from the devil.
Oh, yeah, but we were safe because rather than being sober in an arena where we'd let everything out and then go home, so that was a...
They're choices you have to make in life, right?
But, I went with U2's Under a Blood Red Sky because I share with, I think the last episode, my daughter got that for me as a Christmas gift. But U2's Under the Blood Red Sky was one of those concerts they played on MTV.
Yes.
So I had this old cassette.
That New Year's Day video that they played all the time, wasn't that?
No, New Year's Day was actually recorded in snow. I don't know where it was.
Oh, what am I thinking of? Snow. Good golly, Miss Molly.
I can't remember what actual video.
But there's the one video.
So Sunday Bloody Sunday was the video that they had to play from
Red Rocks.
Yeah. So what I did is I had everyone had a portable cassette player at the time, sort of looks like what you're recording us on right now, and I think I remember it came on a couple times, but it came on one night at 11 o'clock, and I told my parents that look, I'm going to record this so I can listen to it. So it had to be dead silent, and I put it right by the television. I just sat there in dead silent for the hour or whatnot, and there's one. And it's so funny. I still remember there's one spot where the dog starts barking, and it's during Sunday Bloody Sunday. It's when they go. It's like nah, and then it's and then it's roar there. And so my childhood was predicated on getting in my bike, driving to see my friend Philip Hayes, where I live in Fort Carolina. He lived in Arlington, and that's what I would listen to on my bike. And I'd always get that. And I just always thought, oh, well, that song has barking in it. How intriguing. And I have to remind myself, no, they didn't go in the studio and think, we need barking in this song. It's politically on point, but we need barking. Like more cowbell, right?
More cowbell.
So I was going to, actually, I think I told you I was going to go with Iron Maiden's Peace of Mind because it was just a seminal moment in liking heavy metal, and that was a really big deal. And I saw the band, and Eddie came out on stage, and it was neat, but yeah, that's my memory, and I forgot. I started thinking about it and remembering that I would ride my bike, and that's when you could ride your bike across town, right? So yeah, that's U2's
Well,
Under
that
a Broken
reminds
Sky.
me. You had posted, and we had this discussion, I believe, in episode 0.5.
Best episode ever, by the way.
Well,
you know,
most listened.
the freshman release has always been, you know.
It's downhill from
You
me.
posted a question on Facebook, and the question was, what album? What was the actual wording of the question?
Was like what the most influenced you?
You're influenced or most memorable?
I think it had to do with influence because I had said Rush 2112.
When we recorded 0.5, I couldn't remember what mine was.
Yeah.
Mine was Dark Side of the Moon.
That's right. Yep.
Because I'd get on my bike at 3 a.m. and I'd ride throughout Arlington.
Wow.
Because it was in 1986, 7.
And it was very
People
safe
weren't
back then. Yeah.
out and about at that time. And there was nobody on the road
Yeah.
listening to Pink Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon. And it was
Not messed up, right?
No,
just
not at
getting
all. It's something I'll never ever forget.
That's really cool because that was, I think I shared this with you. Pink Floyd. When my dad was stationed out in California, and so he would come back he would come back for holidays and whatnot. And that's when I got my first boombox. And it was a really great boombox. I think he actually got it when he went overseas, so maybe Japan or whatever. And I remember him asking me, what's your favorite music at the time? And it just so happened I started my Pink Floyd phase because normally I would have picked Rush. I said, yeah, Dad, I really like Dark Side of the Moon. So the first CD I ever owned was Dark Side of the Moon. So I got to hear this great. You got to hear the technology was giving you the layers of music, and I just remember sitting there like, oh my god. and then the next CD was 2112, and it's the classics were. I think the third one actually may have been Pink Floyd's "Wish You Were Here." So that was pretty cool. But oh yeah, God, look at you! What a good memory. But so that's my gig. That's I think all good. I think all good memories.
I agree.
I concur.
Even with you.
Yeah. I forgot about the son of a bitch thing. I forgot about him upstairs, and
I love it. That's my
and-
favorite line in the whole movie. That whole scene where I love it.
So where we at? We're at like almost an hour.
See, we really got there, huh?
Yeah.
What I did.
That's the way it left.
Well, what I did want to share a little bit in talking about my neighbor, and I actually wanted to dig into I thought the whole weed thing was funny just because it's like, what I didn't share is that she's sort of a flower child person. So she's very, everything's cool. I'd made a comment about, oh, God, I think the U.S. is going to lose. Why are you putting that out there? Why are you putting that negative energy out there?
All these negative vibes.
And I looked at it and I go, we got like 2 minutes left in the match and they have the ball on our side. And I don't think that we're going to score.
have won.
Yeah. I'm not trying to be negative. I'm just saying that,
I think she was right though because they eventually did lose.
And
It's your fault. It is your fault.
Yes, yeah. I apologize. But I had, being that he is from Australia and he actually travels a lot for what he, I wish I could remember what his job is in. But anyway, earlier in the day when all of his friends were, what?
I'm assuming it involves beer.
No.
Or the Barbie.
No, they actually do engineering. They're engineering people.
Oh.
So yeah. But they, I was asking, they were like, oh yeah, we travel a lot. I'm like, where have you gone that you think is the best place? And most of them said they enjoyed the Scandinavian countries. I think they went to Switzerland. He's like, everybody in Switzerland's gorgeous, and it's crazy. But I got a feel from him that because he's from Australia, he has a better understanding of international politics and business, and I think that maybe he's just more in tune to it. He's actually interested in it. So I'd asked him about the EU,
Yes.
and Europe, and
The Brexit.
yeah, I hate that word. That's just one of those words that sounds stupid, and you're so upset that it's because I think they actually called it Nexit. There's like something out there now like Nexit, like what do they do next? Or but I told him, I said, look, I understood that this was about the fear of, for the Muslims coming in with Sharia law and then a lot of immigrants coming in. And he's like, no, it was more about. And I'm kind of drawing a blank now on it, but he said it actually was more political and more economic. That there were certain things that
Well, I know that
they couldn't do.
The UK was losing money being part of the EU.
Yeah,
The money that they put into the EU
Yeah.
was not as much as they were getting from the
And they
EU.
still had the sterling,
And
right? They
however,
weren't losing.
there's like 12 countries that put more into the EU.
Right.
So the UK was not the only country that
Yeah.
loses money being part of the EU.
Yeah, and they were. He was saying that Greece should have declared bankruptcy, and I don't want to go super political heavy, I mean, I'm forgetting more than I remember, but it was interesting to hear his perspective on it because he did make the case that a lot of what you're hearing in the media about immigration is kind of a red herring. That there's actually a good reason. The funny thing is Carrie and I get up this morning. We like to watch the CBS Sunday morning show, and we watched some of the news stuff, but not a lot. But they were interviewing people who had voted for the exit, and they now want a do-over. Because they're and I kid you not, the quote.
You don't think that same thing's going to happen in November here?
The quote was, "Had I known that this was actually going to pass, I wouldn't have voted for it."
This is what frightens me so much about voting.
You're right.
Is because you got people that don't. I mean, I am not a politico. I don't study, but I have a brain.
We've got Brian mad.
No, it just drives me absolutely because people
Yeah.
will just vote because everybody else is doing that, so I'm going to vote the way they do.
Yes, people
and
are
that's frightening to me. That just terrifies me because you get idiots in office.
That's why Trump is the Republican.
Exactly. Use your brain. Just think,
it's kind of why Hillary's the Democratic candidate as well. It's not. And then you've got the sons of bitches who will tell people like me that you're wasting your vote because a vote for Hillary is a vote for Trump. That's not how this works. That's not.
I mean, I'm voting third party.
Good for you. Are you going to vote Gary Johnson with me?
I am actually
the first
voting.
time you voted third
I have
party?
never voted third party before, but I cannot get behind either one of the major party candidates. I just can't.
They said that Johnson's maybe it was a specific state, but they said he was grabbing 18% somewhere. And I'm like, wow, for a third party, that's like Ross Perot good.
Yeah, I really think we are getting to a point where there could be a third party delegate in the Oval Office at some point in the near future.
Yeah,
I hope so. I don't think it's going to happen.
I mean, I don't think it's going to happen, tomorrow.
That's why I voted third party for the past 20 years for the future.
Yeah, I do it as well. I keep telling people, look, if no one does it, then no one will do it, and you're not voting for someone who can win. Again, that's not. That's not what they say about voting.
That's not how this works. That's not any of those in the commercial.
That's not how this works. That's not how any of this works. So and look, I'm not smart enough to talk.
Listeners,
politics. I just thought it was interesting. And to your point about, does it foreshadowing November? Look, I don't know if Americans are going to look at that and go, oh, well, if Trump's for what they did in England, I don't want that to happen over here. They're having a really hard time now. They want to change their mind. You can't do that. You can't just have referendums every month because you've decided, I don't agree with what I just did. And you just voted 48 hours ago. And you didn't think it would win. That's like betting money on something. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and throw $5,000 on the Patriots to win the Super Bowl. I don't think they're going to win.
You can't do that?
Well, I mean, you can, but it's not smart.
I think what it comes down to is it exposes the fact that the Brits are not smarter than us.
Yeah.
They're idiots.
Look, we kicked their ass in the 1800s, and look, like the T-shirt says, World Wars 2-0. Did I ever send you guys the link to that site? We need to put that link on the website. That site deserves traffic as much as Hipster Hitler deserves traffic. I'm telling you that right now.
Are we done?
I feel like we're done.
Did we really talk for an hour?
Yes, it's been
Yeah,
an hour and
God,
2 minutes.
it's like 6:50.
Yeah.
I think my wife's writing a contract because she's not home.
Oh, because it's 6:57 and 2 seconds. You were very specific about the time earlier. Crickets, right?
Well, I think we're specifically doing that to make you feel uncomfortable.
I don't want to talk about it.
Thanks everybody for listening.
You can feel the sun under sort of me, and you can get off the feeling way. And